Anthony Gray Panchagik, Amjada Santanta, all about Hapchagik Charleston Gray, Inyaja Hapchagik Zelda Reed, Maya Sisapta, Manya Apam Matamitata to this event. I don't know what to call it in autumn. I don't know what we call a lecture in autumn, but just good and happy and excited to be here with you all this evening to share with you about the stars and songs, which are two really kind of personal passions of mine, and really excited to get to share that with you all. In autumn, we would say, that my heart is coming out, that you're going to get to see part of that. I am from District 4, from a village called Santan. My father is the late Charleston Gray. He's actually He's actually Navajo. He's from a village, or they don't say villages, they say chapters. He's from the chapter of Mini Farms, or Lukachukai, up there just north of Chinle. And my Ja, she's from there in District 4, Santan, and Zelda Reed. Right now she works in cells in the Tohono Nation. And so that's a little bit about who I am, and a little bit about what we're going to share with you all tonight. So tonight, I'm going to be sharing songs with you, some that you may have heard before, others that you may not know about, or you might learn new words, you might learn new phrases, you might learn even just something new about maybe your perspective of the world around us. Now, for me, for tonight, this is going to be my perspective. So everything that I've learned, everything that I've experienced through singing our autumn, all of that is what I'm going to share with you. So if you understand something different, that's your experience, and there's nothing wrong with both of us having different perspectives of it. I always compare it to like a mountain. Like if you ever seen Kalmak, if you looked at Kalmak from the east or the west, it's really long and broad and big and huge. But when you look at it from like the south or the north, it doesn't seem like that. Nothing changed. The mountain didn't change at all. Just our perspective of it, which way we were looking at it. So that's how I view our culture. Some people may say, oh, that's wrong, or that's not how we do it. But that's where they're from. That's not how they do it where they're from. So to get us started, I have to share with you a little bit about where I started from. These are different elders, different people that I've gotten to learn songs from. My very first teacher was the late Jonah Ray Jr. from Salt River. I started learning from him in the early 2000s, and he taught me a lot. What he taught me and really sticks the most with me right now is really the respect that comes with our songs. Our songs are medicine, and achim autumn, the way that we believe in these songs is that they're not just songs for music, they're not just songs to be sung, that they have a power, a gukdak in it. And it's up to the singer to decide when a song can be sung. And sometimes there's rules to that. And Jonah, but he was really strong in that. He was from Salt River. And so when I started learning songs, I actually started learning Salt River songs. And he always told us, I'm from Salt River. I can only teach you the songs from Salt River. If you want to learn songs from Gila River, there's others that you need to go to. So he was really strong in that. And, that's something that I kind of see going away nowadays. I see a lot of our our youth singing songs from other places. And that's good, they're learning songs, but they also have to learn some of these rules with it. Like I said, these songs carry power, and they carry a strength, and they carry almost like a medicine for us. And just like medicine, like today, if we take too much of something, it can hurt us. If we use it in the wrong way, it will hurt ourselves, it might hurt others. So there's songs that can be sung in public, some songs that can't be. Tonight, don't worry, all the songs I'm singing are social songs. Again, Jonah Butt was my very first teacher. And because of that, like he shared that a lot with me. From there, he introduced me to other singers such as Barnaby Lewis, Robert Stone, Maria Garcia, the late Danny Lopez from Go Oyeduck. I got to learn a lot of songs, a lot of stories connected with through these elders. So I have to, kind of give homage to them. That, this is where I'm kind of a product of them all. They say that it takes a village to raise a child. And, even though I'm as old as I am, all of these different elders has some part in my growing up in the culture. So, yeah, that's who these guys are. I'm okay with pictures. I'm not a big fan of posing for pictures because, like you see there, me and Barnaby, they asked us, they're like, can you stand with your sticks? And we're like, what do we do? Like, do we like fight each other or? And that's what came out. Another thing to talk about our songs is, like I said, there's power, there's an order to songs. These are some examples that I've found regarding the order of songs, that a lot of times they'll start maybe in the north or in the east, and they go in this counterclockwise motion around all of them Jowett. Not just like in our lands, not in our tribal lands now. You got to remember, basically anything south of the Mogollon Rim was all them territory. We have names, we have songs, we have important relationships to all of these places. And these are just, things that we have to acknowledge because they are in our songs. This knowledge is kept in our songs. So even though some place like Oyedabat, A Mountain or Hayden Butte right here by ASU, it's not on our tribal lands now, but it was, it is part of our culture, and we have many songs, many stories related to that. So when it comes to songs, there's a lot to it, and I'm going to try to squeeze as much as I can just to kind of give you a little bit of context of what I get into a little bit later. And that's, our songs don't originate from people. And not meaning that, we don't sing them, but in our Himadak and in the way that we believe, songs are given to us from spirits. A lot of times in times of hardship, or sometimes in really deep prayer, or kind of even in suffering sometimes, there's, we're praying to the Creator for strength or for help to get through whatever it is. And, he'll give us these songs. And usually it comes in the form of an animal. So a lot of times when you hear them singers, you'll hear them say, oh, this is a swallow bird song. This is an oriole bird song. They're not just like, oh, I'm going to call it a swallow song. No, it's because where this song originated from, this person had a dream, and in that dream, that swallow bird taught him that song. And that's where those songs come from. So when we talk about our songs, there are some things that we have to kind of give context to that, one, they're not, I'm not going to go home and say, oh, I want to write a song about this. That's the Metagon way of doing things. They have to usually come to us. Sometimes they come to us while we're in prayer. Sometimes they come to us unexpectedly when we're going through really hard times. And sometimes they just come to us while in our sleep, if we're gifted with that. So with that, I think we're going to get into the meat of our presentation tonight. So again, talking about the night sky. When I got to learn to start singing, got to sing at night. Still get to sing at night. Sang last night. And it's cool because like a lot of times we get asked to sing and we're outside and we get to watch all of these things happening in the night sky. Tonight, probably not so much. I saw a lot of, get how much. And, but, before, there's certain nights where it's really clear and you can see all the stars, all the planets, all the weird different things going on in the night sky. And, I grew up in a time where technology was starting to come out. And one thing about that technology allows us to do is to increase our communication with one another, share ideas, share thoughts. And if you haven't noticed, like in the past 20 years or so, a lot of conspiracy theories come out. And so there's going to be a song, and I think it's even the first one. I'm going to have to put my tinfoil hat on and give you my ancient aliens theory about some of these songs. So, yeah, I getting out there to go and sing, and especially on the nation, because there's not as much light pollution out there in the nation. You get to see a lot, and I really like that. If you see me sing at night outside, and if you can actually see me, you'll see me probably looking up at the sky, or just watching things go by. There's a lot of stuff out there that you get to see. I don't know if you guys have seen the Starlink satellites when they go through. It was like a little short line of lights going through. I was at the Sacaton store one evening, and that was the first time I saw it. And there was like 3 or 4 other cars there, and we were all looking up and heard this little kid behind me. He's like, "Look, Santa Claus is here." And I was like, "God, maybe he's right." So, yeah, I like to have fun. I like to kind of put things in and maybe say, maybe it's not what it is, or maybe it's something kind of unique, something kind of an out there idea. So with that, we're gonna take off on our little journey. We're gonna take a little space ride, and the first thing we're gonna come across is our Tash. And a lot of us have seen this already. Sometimes around our Tash, our sun, there's this ring around it. There's this big ring around it, and it looks just like this. Sometimes it's really clear. Sometimes it kind of has these little tints of a rainbow around it. Now, astronomers, meteorologists, scientists will say, "Oh, it's the water molecules and it's reflecting light," or something like that. They'll tell you that. But for us as Autumn, it looks like, if you've ever been a part of our ceremonies, sometimes they'll put a ring of something like a medicine on the ground, and it's meant to protect us, meant to act as a shield. So in Autumn, we call this the Tash Kavat, the sun shield, the shield of the sun, however you want to say it. This is our Tash Kavat. So if you can imagine that it's kind of this guardianship around the sun. It's protecting it from everything, from all around it. Our Tash is a very important element in our environment. It provides us light, provides us heat. It provides us everything we're needed to do to live. It provides the plants, the light they need to grow so they can become food for us. So our Tash Kavat is the shield of the sun. It's the ring around it, And this applies to the moon too. So if you ever see a ring around the moon, you can call that the Mashat Kavat, the moon shield. It sounds real space-like, huh? All right. So there's this song, and this is my alien theory kind of song. And what this song is saying is it's saying Konyo vav ko oren. Vav meaning a cliff, and oren is like when you put something there or to place something somewhere. In the song language, gun means not kun. I don't have a husband, but gun means I, anyi. But in the song language, it's you say kun yavav ko oren. Iya wacho kabag nya. So underneath it, the eagle is singing, and then he says, so you can imagine this person is on this cliff, and he hears this eagle singing underneath it. Then he says, "Iatam tashkavat sikorihim," and above him, this sun shield, and it's circling. So again, right there, I'm already thinking, wow, what could be a circling light, man? Yeah, if I had like that crazy hair, it'd be like aliens. It's not aliens, but aliens. And then it says, "Am wacho am nya." Underneath it, the underneath that sun shield, the eagle is singing. So, like I said, I kind of grew up in this time where technology allows us to see things, and my generation, we quote movies a lot. Like movies were a big part of our thing. Like Forrest Gump, like I remember that being like a family event to go and see it. Seems crazy now, but when I was growing up in the 90s, movies were always a big thing. So a lot of my generation, we quote things from movies, and that's one thing I've noticed about our generation. So automatically, when I thought about this, it's actually a story of the Eagle songs. They say this man from Santan, that he had a dream that this light called him to this mountain. So he climbed up on it. He climbed up on the mountain, and then he got to a cliff, and it seemed like he got stuck there. So when he got stuck there, all of a sudden this man, he says, showed up. This man shows up, and he asks him, "What are you doing on a cliff?" And he's like, "I don't know. I don't know how to get down." And he says that in the story, he says that the man sings a song, and this tashkavat forms, and he takes him down the mountain, and then there he meets these eagles. So when I thought about that, when I heard about it, this is what came to mind. So any Marvel fans out there? This is what I thought about. Like, this is what it sounds like. It sounds like he transported him down. And but again, that's my perspective. That's how I like to see it. So yeah, I'm going to share this song with you guys real quick. Again, these songs are social songs. So I'm okay with the recordings, but for me, I always say, the way I learned was I had to go to these elders and learn from them. So you can record, but always ask that if you're going to learn songs, go find an elder to learn them from. And hopefully my mics don't blow out. Konye mova vekova yorena, konye mova vekova yorena, ayanya vahatonga baha konya tam, ayanya tamanga tashaiva kavana vasisi kora hemata. Ayanyeva vachonga ba konyata konye mova vaikova yorena konye mova vaikova yorena ayanyeva vachonga ba konyata ayanye tamanga tasaiva kavana vasisi kora hemata ayanyeva vachonga nyata. So again, it's saying that this eagle was singing to this man, and he created this tashkavat, and it took him down. It took him down from the mountain, where he got to meet more eagles and got to sing or learn more songs. Tashkavat, the shield of the sun. So going along with that, there's another thing that happens with the Tash. And again, we're going on a nice little space trip. So a little bit less, or happens less, I guess, is sometimes you have the Tashkavat there, and then sometimes you'll see these little bright spots on that Tashkavat. They look like sometimes they're like that. They're like rainbow colored, and sometimes they look like little suns, like little versions of the suns. So in autumn, we would call these our tashmamat. Tashmamat. A mat is what a mother would call her child. So they're not. So if you ever hear an autumn lady say that to their child, they're not calling them a gox or anything. They're not saying mut. They're saying mat in your mat. But here we're saying tashmamat, tashmamat, the sun babies, sun children, whatever it is that you may call it. And again, there's some scientific explanation for it, but again, as autumn, we look at it, we see it, and we're like, oh, those look like little tash, so we're going to call them tashmamat. Now, I haven't heard from an elder yet, like, what does it mean? You know, sometimes, you know, if we see, like the Meragan, they'll say if you see a black cat, you're going to have bad luck. Well, I don't know what that means. You know, again, the tash is a good thing to see every day. So to see more of them, might be, you know, something good. Last year, I worked with our language teachers here in the community, and we had a meeting in Sacaton, and the elder that actually taught me the song that goes with this, he always told me that if I ever see the Tashmamat, I'm going to call you. And that morning, I was driving to that meeting, and I had my coworker with me, and just out of nowhere, he calls me. It's like calling, I was like, hey, what's up? He's like, look up in the sky. And I'm like, I can't, I'm driving, but I'll try. And he says, the Tashmamat is going on. So I pulled over, and sure enough, we looked up, and there was the Tashmamat. And what tripped me out about it was that he told me that like 10 years before that. He said that he would call me. So I felt a little special that he remembered to call me when it happened. But the Tashmamat. Now, the Tashmamat, there's a song to it that we sing, and it comes from the Hashan Cook area, from the area District 2 or Sacaton Flats. And so a lot of songs come from there, and I don't know, like it just feels, I don't know, it feels like something. That these guys right here, they call them the box tops, the Oriole bird singers. This is going to be one of the songs that they sung, and so for me to be able to sing this song right next to their picture, like, oh, that's cool. So the Tashmamat, it's the Oriole bird song, Vajikok Ohik, and in this one, our songs talk about different things. Sometimes we have stories about them, about what's going on in that song. Sometimes we have stories about like, oh, I remember I heard this song because this happened. Someone fell or something like that. But this one, it tells the story. And whenever I sing this song, I think about this little bird, this Wajikok Uhik, and he's saying he's like a medicine man. He's not a medicine man, but he's saying he's like one. Anisi Makayam Choik. I'm like a medicine man. And so I can imagine this little bird, and he's probably got like some little feathers on his mo'o, or maybe he's got, you know, he's wearing something, or, you know, something that makes him feel like a medicine man. And I always think about Jeru Lakapa. He's a comedian from Apache. He tells the story about making tortillas, and he says that when he would add the flour, that he would act like a medicine man. So it kind of reminds me of this. Like, is this little bird doing that? Is he trying to mimic what he sees with the mamakai? So yeah, ayin si makayim choik iya oimat. So here's where I roam. Tam juk tam tash mamat I hudunyim. So tam juk meaning that the sun is on top, and that the tash mamat they're coming down. So maybe and again, I don't know the science of it, but maybe this only happens that when the sun is coming down or at a certain angle, according to the person who sees it. And then he says, "Iya awafbiwa." Here they're resting. So again, remember there's that tash kawat and these little suns are on there, and it looks like that they're resting on that. They're resting on that shield, and then he says, "I look like the sun," or they look like the sun. Um, uh, Sorry, I'm usually like I'll sing the song and then explain it, so it's kind of hard to do it backwards sometimes. I see Tashan Choik, so I look like the sun, and then again Iya and Oima, so here I roam. So if you can imagine this bird, and he feels like a medicine man, and he sees the Stash Mamat coming down, and so maybe he feels like, oh, I make that happen. Again, he feels like a medicine man, and so now he's walking around like, oh, I can make anything happen. I'm a medicine man. So this is an Oriole bird song that comes from District 2. Vanye sima kai mo choi kam. Vanye sima kai mo choi kam. Ina ne yoi mata. Eno tamai chuka ta shai. Ma na hono kem. E yanya hai wa pui wa. Vanyeng ta shai namakama choi kam inani yoi matam Vanye sima kai mo choi kam Vanye sima kai mo choi kam inani yoi matam Eno tamai chukata shai ma na ono kem Etavanya hai wa piwa Vanyeng ta shai namakama choi kam Inani yoi matam. So again, that's the song of the Tash Mamat. So now you know that if you see this shield around the sun and you see these little suns around it, that's the Tash Mamat. That's the sun's children. And yes, I did use AI to create these photos. So it's really hard to find a picture of an Oriole bird underneath the Tash Mamat. But again, I'm part of this newer generation of all of them, like the Wichita that really know how to use technology. And to be honest, this is my first time I got to play around with it. And the very last song that I'm going to share with you, it was my first go at it, and it's really kind of funny looking. All right. So we talked about the Tash, and it's time that when all of them singers sing, it's usually in the evening time, and as singers, we'll go from we'll start with evening songs and go all the way to the night until the morning, and then usually when we get to the morning, we'll start singing songs about the morning. And then we'll start singing songs about the day, like the Tash Kawat, the Tash Mamat. But everybody knows this constellation is coming out right now, that it's winter time, and I've heard different what do you call names for the constellation. Some people say Choshan, meaning the what do you call it? It's a ram, yeah. And I think I've even heard someone call it like the nyopot, the night hawk. But again, just learning from my perspective from these songs, it's shashkar himdam. Shakad or shashkad is something in a line. And himdam is someone or people that are going. So people who go in a line. So shashkad himdam, and we're talking about Orion's belt specifically. So not only is it just the belt part, but if you're familiar with the constellation, I don't know if it's Greek or whatever, but you know it's like this warrior. He has a belt, and there's this thing like a knife or a sheath hanging down. So the way that I understand it is that this word shashkad himdam are talking about these two different lines that are going different directions. As autumn, the way I understand it is that not only do we use these to give strength and to pray for people, but also it's a very functional tool to know what's going on with the tash, with the ho, the stars, and all of the things in the sky. It tells you time. So one of the things that I've heard about Edom, the Shashkad Himdam, from Gila River, is that there was a certain point on Kalmarik, and Kalmarik is the Estrella Mountains here, where when sun move, or not the sun, but when the earth moves according to the seasons, things will change places in the sky. And there was a certain peak where whenever these passed that peak, they knew it was time to start farming, getting ready to farm again, and that the warmer weather was coming. So our songs carry this knowledge. Our songs remind us that, hey, these, they're not just stars that we get to see at night, but there's a purpose to them. There's things that will happen that will let us know, hey, we need to get our fields ready, or hey, we need to start storing up our food for different things. All right. So there's this group of songs from well, I would call it Cuiva, the Cuiva Autumn, the West End people. And they have these bluebird or blue swallowbird songs. And, there's a lot of these old words in there. Like I just found out there was this bug, and some of the older people might have heard this before, but like there's this bug where if you catch it, you're supposed to blacken its face. And it's funny because then you'd blacken its face and you'd tell them to go get the rain to wash it off. So there's a song about that with all of these blue swallowbird songs. Sure, the gig is what, yeah. So anyway, so going to the song, again, it's telling us that hey, it's going above this mountain. We need to keep an eye on it. We need to know where is it at this point. So the westward standing mountain. There's a part missing. It's a sikor, that is going in a circle, because when the earth rotates, everything goes in a circle. They're all sitting on top of the mountain, or it looks like they're sitting on top of the mountain. And then they're how did the Miragan say it? They're twinkling, when they twinkle, when they sparkle. That's the word nanok. In the song language, you'll hear nyonyowak, but when we say it, it's nanok. And again, these are words that maybe we don't hear as much. We don't talk about these things. We're always inside now. There's a lot of reasons why we're inside. We're inside because it's so hot. We're inside because of things that are going on around us, and then with people kind of going loco, going crazy, and it keeps us inside. But again, our songs carry this knowledge. So hopefully in the future, we do start going back outside at nighttime. We feel safe. my coworkers today were talking about like, oh, do you remember sleeping outside in the summertime, and underneath the wato or in the oksha, or things like that. I was like, yeah. Growing up in the village in Archokshan, we had just, I guess we would call it our little oksha, and if you ever lived that way, you know that you had a spring bed and you just threw all your blankets on there and you slept on it. But yeah, that's, again, those are just things that, stories that we hang on to. So this one, I'm just going to do a cappella. It's a little bit hard. So a long time ago, our singers used to beat to the words of the song. And so for this one, it's really hard. I haven't picked up how to go like a straight beat with just the melody of the song of the songs. So hodone kokatwa hodonye no kama no nova hodonye no kama no nova ameva tamanga shashakara himatama yoy sikor Tama no na na hewa, tono re ko nana waika. And there's this old man singing this, and he's doing that he's hitting a box like these guys, and he's doing that. So it's not like a straight beat. And so I always wanted to, ask the elders in the West End, how did you guys dance to this? Because that would have seemed hard. Hodonye no kama no vang. Hodonye no kama no vang. Ameva tamanga shashakara himatama yoy sekor. Tama no na hewa. Tono re ko nyanya waikak. Hodonye no kama tono vang. Hodonye no kama no vang. Ameva tamanga shashakara himatama yoy sikor. Tama no na hewa. Tono re ko nyanya waika. So again, these songs carry these messages or this knowledge of, we need to keep an eye on the night sky because it's going to tell us. And, the way the world is going now, man, this knowledge might come into play pretty soon, hopefully a lot later, but, it's something that we need to hold on to, and we need to keep going. All right, so moving on, this next one is a really new one to me because I never knew what this thing was. When I started talking to Leland about doing this, I was like, hey, have you ever heard of this? And I guess I think he was here because I texted him and he said, hold on. And then like a couple minutes later, I got a picture. And I asked him, I was like, what's a weekwood? A weekwood. And this is a weekwood. And what he did was he went over to, there's this display over here. There's one, I don't know if it's actually this one, but there's this thing there, this weekwood. And I never heard of this. I never heard this word. I always use, some people will say like a vaho or a va'o for like tongs. But again, this was something that I had heard and never knew before. And maybe it's because, again, it's something that's in the song and it's something that's maybe not as sung as much. But a weekwood. So if you have a chance on your way out, there's a display case over here where this weekwood is. And it's funny because I have a recording of this elder who passed a long time ago and he's singing this song. And when he's explaining it, he says, I think the words are something like, oh, it's something you get something with. I was like, oh. So I was like, that didn't help. That did not help. All right. So we could tongues and I don't know the constellation. This is one of those ones where we don't know right now. I have a theory of what it might be, and I'll show you in the next slide, but we don't know. We don't know what it is. But, again, when you go outside, maybe tonight or on a night where it's clear, take a look and see, maybe is there a group of stars that looks like this? So we could. Something you get something with. So if you don't know, just say that. Oh, it's a we could. So again, it's a blue swallowbird song. Sure that gig it would. And this one, he's saying that the wind is telling him this. Hovadanag. Cook. So again, toward the west, there's this mountain that stands. And then oi wikut. Oi wikut. That the wikut is following. And then he says that the wikut looks like it's sitting on top of the mountain. So again, this is all about perspective. Maybe wherever this bird was when he saw this happen, it was just a perfect where it looked like the wikut was sitting on top of that mountain. So again, these the gig is they have different beats. So this one I'll do a cappella. Sorry, my singing voice is going. All right, I gotta make sure I remembered it. Hayaware yangata. Hayaware yangata. Hono nye tang yong tawa nai ka. Hanyo we kon tamano na hewa. Hayaware yangata. Hayaware yangata. Hono nye tang yong tawa nai ka. Hanyo we kon tamano na hewa. And that's it. So it's cool. It's a short song. But again, you have to look at it. This is one where I think about it from the bird's point of view, that he's watching this wikut go across the sky, and at a certain point, it looks like it's just sitting right on top of that mountain. And I forgot to show you what I thought each one that it was. So there's this group of stars where it looks like a V. And it's actually not too far from the Shashkarimdam. It's not too far from them. If you, again, if you're familiar with the Orion constellation, there's that, he's like that. He's holding something up. He's going to hit it. The Wikut. What I think is the Wikut is a little bit further past that thing that he's holding up, Orion. So if you go out tonight or you get to see it, if you see Orion, look past where he's holding up that Haichitotakam, and again look for that V, because I think that's what the Wikut is, but I could be wrong. I'm not quite sure. All right. So one more constellation, and this one actually, I'm sorry, I don't have a song about it, but it's just something I thought would be cool to share with you. And that Big Dipper looking thing. Again, I come from this generation where I get these. I had a friend of mine that talked to me once, and they were like, God, if we were ever to get on council, we'd just be sending memes to each other. But yeah, the Big Dipper looking thing. So take off our Miragan Chiktatak, and the way we look at the Big Dipper, it's not the Big Dipper anymore. It's now in autumn, it's the Kuipat. It's the Kuipat. So if you can see there, again, don't look at it like a dipper, but look at it as a Kuipat. And there's a Kuipat somewhere over there. But it's the stick that we use to pick the Hasham Bayatak. And so if you look, I guess the part that would be the scoop is more of like the cross part. So if you look at the Big Dipper and Autumn now, you should know it as the Kuipat. The Kuipat. So again, I don't have a song about it, but I thought this was cool, and I thought, what better example to show, like, this is our perspective. This is my perspective of this 3 songs, but this is ultimately Autumn perspective. This is how we see things in our natural environment. All right, so Kuipat. We're gonna get a test on it later. All right, so singers, we start in the evening time, we go through the night, and then all of a sudden, Watamasik, you start seeing toward the east, you start seeing the light changing. It's no longer all black all around. You start seeing a little bit of purple and blue in the night sky. And you see this guy up there, the Milky Way. Again, astronomy, science tells us that the Milky Way is just part of our galaxy that we're in and all of this. But the Autumn, there's stories of the Bang and him spilling the Thotabaf and it's going all up and all of that. But in Autumn, we call the Milky Way Thalmuk. And again, as singers, we get to watch this. And at the night sky, on clear nights where we get to see Thalmuk, we notice that he turns in the direction. And that's what the song that we sing today, and our singers still use it, sing this song. We talk about this. We say, Watomasik, Thalmuk, Sikorihim. So the morning is coming, and Thalmuk, he's turning in a circle. Siarek we avalpan. So towards the east, he's kind of like aligned up. He's aligned up or stretched out toward the east. Going, again, meaning me, Anya Pimach Nyayet. I don't know what I see. And sometimes, when we experience something for the first time, we don't know what it is. And we get that feeling of a little bit of excitement, but a little bit of fear because I don't know what it is. So like that, remember I was saying that Starlink satellites, thinking it was Santa Claus. Maybe that's what this logical Uhik was seeing. He was seeing Thalmuk for the first time. Mom and Dad let him stay up all night, and he got to watch it for the first time. So then he says again, Thalmuk sikorihim, siarek we avaupan. So the morning is coming, and Thalmuk has now aligned itself with the morning, almost kind of like making a himkut for the tash, making a path for the tash. And the logical Uhik doesn't know what he sees, but he knows that it's Thalmuk going in a circle. And again, this is one of those songs that come from Hugum, the Box Tops, all of those guys. And it's a song that we still sing more often today. Vatomasik, tomongasik korano pijemem, siareva hawenya valpanam, kochape mamaja konya enam, tomongasik korano pijemem, Asiyareva hawenya valpanam Vatomasik Tomangasik korano pijemem Siyareva hawenya valpanam Kochape mamaja konya enam Tomongasik korano pijemem Asiyadeva Hawenyava Vanam. So again, Thalmak, he's going in a circle and he's aligning himself with the morning as the morning starts to come. So Thalmak, the Milky Way, the Milky Way. All right, I got one more for you guys. So if you're not getting car sick by now, all right, you guys made it. All right, so the last one is the morning star. Some people say Siarik Hu'u, literally meaning Siarik, meaning the morning, Hu'u, meaning the star, but I've always heard it as Smas Hu'u, Smas Hu'u. It's a bright star or something you see really clearly, Smas Hu'u. Now we know that Smas Hu'u is actually Venus. You know, Venus is a planet closer to the sun, and it has a really thick atmosphere around it. And because it's so close to the sun, it reflects the light, and it becomes ultra bright. So we know that, again, scientifically, that's what's going on. But you know, as the winter time is coming, hopefully there will be people that will share the story of Smas Ho'o, of the siblings that would become the morning and the evening star. This is gonna be, like I said, you're gonna see my first attempt at AI, and it's kind of funny. Like I said, from my perspective as a singer, songs carry different meanings. There's the meaning of the song itself that we should know as singers. We should be able to break it down and tell you word for word kind of what's going on. Some people might say, oh, I know this is a song about the Milky Way. Well, what does it say? I don't know, it's about the Milky Way. So there's that meaning. Sometimes there's meanings where it changes. There's this one song that we have that we sing, and it's talking about this eagle, and he's flying above these dancers, and he wants to bless the dancers, so he drops a feather for them. And there's a song about that. And from my perspective, you know, that's how I look at it. But from a dancer's perspective, like, there was this lady who talked to us about that. And she's like, well, that's how you see it as a singer. As a dancer, this is how I see the song. And she gave us her perspective of it. Sometimes, like you see the stars, or, you know, that they're songs about it moving, or something's going on with it. This next one, I think, is an example of it's there. There's something else going on, and the morning star is just there, being a part of it. I always tell real quick the story of, there's this one song I really liked about this okokoi singing, this bird that's singing on this mountain. And I heard it in this village called Chirtaguaya down in Mexico. And the funniest thing about it is the thing that it reminds me the most about is getting a leg cramp. Because what was happening was we were part of a run, and I had been up like a couple of days, so I found we got down there to Greenwells, and they had singers and people there to sing, and so I went to go to sleep, and in the middle of or like early in the morning in the Masik, got this really bad leg cramp. Oh, it hurt. And I was sleeping in my truck, so I jumped out. And when I jumped out, I heard this lady singing the song about this okokoi. So to me, that okokoi song will always remind me of that leg cramp. But it was cool because, like, you know, I'm in pain. I'm trying to walk this cramp out, but I hear this lady singing this beautiful song. And, you know, again, the song, it has its story, but for me as a singer, the first time it will always remind me of that experience. And that's what this next one will kind of show you. Now, don't laugh. Again, it's my first time at AI with this first photo. But what it's talking about is this cow song. Before I show you, trying to build anticipation. Smas ho'o ea ivam vam tonorem. This word vam is something that I hear in Gila River songs a lot, or so Gila River and Salt River songs. And my one of my instructors, he always said that vam, svam can mean something looks really pretty or seems really pretty, beautiful, or something really scary or really, really scary. So it could go either way. But here, I think just the way the song is going, I think he's saying that the morning star, it's shining with him. It's shining with this cow. Tam him, tashi chusha him. So above him, the sun is starting to climb. Tashi chush, the sun is starting to climb. Ida in your so is your back. Don't say I know a lot of people say that. They'll make a mistake and say They don't know they're saying their back. Ida in your si jojor ohanatak. Ohanatak is like, could be something is painted, could be something is written, but jojor is zigzag. So if you imagine there's this cow and he has the zigzag on his back. And again, that's what the cow sees. The cow sees himself. He sees himself and he looks good with these zigzag designs on his back. He probably thinks he looks like those New Zealand natives, with all their tattoos. He probably looks like them. But, he's really proud of himself. And in that imaginary picture, there's also the morning star with him. So, yay. So again, this cow, he's standing there. He feels like he's pretty, and he's got all these lines on his back, but also as well, there's the morning star. So if you want to try to recreate it, that's the website I use, Deep AI. Now these songs, you got to imagine it. Again, these songs come from these animals. We look at them as animals, and we look at them. We might think, that they have their life, but sometimes we don't think about maybe this is how they view themselves. Have you seen the kakoyo when they do that with what do you call that? When they really with their hooves, they prance almost kind of. I wonder how they feel when they do that. Do they feel like they're really, really, really something? Or are they like chumskug or, But this is from this cow's point of view. And these songs come from Santan. Santan has a lot of songs that we're finding out. And this is just one of them. And it is a really interesting story because there's Wakyar. And what happened was he was branding, and they say this cow got loose and it stuck his horn into his throat, almost killed him. So in that time that he was recovering from that, he said that cow would come to him in his sleep and teach him songs. So these are the songs that we sing. They're known as cow songs. Okay, yeah. Maseyo va he anyawa vamawa hamatonore mata e natata mai va he mata ta sai chanye ka e mon yohanasana jojo ramayohanata Maseyo he anyawa mawa matono remata enatata mai wa he mata ta shai cha shanye ka e mon yo hanasana jo jo ramayo nata Maseyo Ola he anyawa mava matona remata enatata mai wa he mata ta shai cha shanyeka e mona yohanasana jojo ramayo hanasa. So this is the song of this cow, and like I said, sometimes there's a purpose, there's knowledge, and all of these with these songs. But this one, I just feel like, again, it's about him and him feeling good about himself, and he just happens to notice that the smas ho'o is there, and it's shining with him, and it just kind of adds to that beauty. It just adds just a little bit more. Gives it that little bit of a just gives it a little bit more to his beauty, I think. So I think with that, that pretty much finishes my my presentation with you. And again, I just wanted to share with you my love for the night sky. There's all these things that are going on in the night sky, and I encourage you to be out there, be safe. There are things out there in the nighttime that are bad for us or can hurt us or do things to us. So we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves first. That's the all-thumb perspective of it. But there's also beauty out there in the night sky, and there's a lot of this knowledge that's embedded in that beauty. And as well, our songs are something that carry that. They carry these stories of something that happened to a person. Sometimes they carry stories of our ancestors, and sometimes like this one, they're give us a picture of their perspective. This is the cow's perspective of himself, and sometimes we kind of forget about that. I feel, even I do. I forget sometimes. Sometimes I'm yelling at the cow to get out of the road. And maybe he feels good. He's trying to show himself off, and I'm just telling him to get out of the way. And it reminds me of almost like almost like little kids, because like the kids, they just do their thing. There's nothing corrupting their perspective of the world. So when they tell you something or they feel something, that's really what they feel. And sometimes I think our animals do that. They'll tell us how they feel, or they'll give it to us through these songs. And as singers, it's a privilege, it's an honor to be able to carry songs, but also there's responsibilities to it. We call them the people songs. It's not Anthony's or anything like that. It's the people song, and I just have I'm just honored to be able to carry them. But it's also my responsibility that when people ask, that I give these people the songs that belong to them. I'm just a carrier. I'm just a messenger of the songs. So with that, I do have something for you. I planning this with Mr. Thomas. Me and Leland, I don't know how long we've known each other, but it seems like a lot of the times I get to do things first, or my first time doing a lot of things, he's a part of it in some way. So it feels really good to have him invite me out to be a part of this. I know he's been doing this for years, but it's my first time to be up here talking and sharing with you something that I love. So just really thankful to Mr. Thomas for thinking of me, considering me to come out and share with you tonight, and the Huakam Heritage Center. But I do have one thing that I wanted to share, because this is, again, me sharing with you, and you guys have no idea like how good it feels to sing in front of people. Not like, oh, look at me or anything like that. I don't feel like I have the best voice. I'm no Autumn, Frank Sinatra or anything like that. But it just feels good because, again, carrying the songs, sometimes to be able to let it out is a relief for me. Sometimes when I don't get to sing for a long time, it's kind of like a soda bottle when you shake it up and it's all built up, that pressure. But to be able to kind of give some of that, the goodness of these songs, the stories of these songs, my perspective, and for you guys to listen to me, wanted to do something for all of you. So I did reach out to a local artist, and we designed some stickers for tonight. And cool thing is, I shared some of these with him, and he came up with his design. And that's really what I like about artists, is like, I can carry songs, but I can't draw. Like, to me, it would have just been like a stick cow. So I gave him some of the songs, and let him do his thing. And there were just some things, little things. Oh, let's change this here. Let's try this. And so again, we have this for you guys tonight. So we have a sticker for you all, made by Jamie Jackson. He's here up there in the crowd. Say hi. He took the song about the Tashkavat, the man, and the shield of the sun, and he made that. And then he also took the Kuipat and put it up there with the Big Dipper. The Kuipat. He showed us what it looks like. So again, this is a really cool thing about being an O'atam, is we all have gifts. We all have something that we offer to everybody around us. And my gift is to be able to sing. His gift is creativity, on a scale of 100. He's up there, 110. All right. But it's just really cool. So I was able to get with him, and we were able to create these stickers. So I'm not sure how we could pass them out. I'm gonna have my son just kind of give them out. All right, yeah. This is my son, Judam. All right. He's going to be taller than me pretty soon. But again, this is just something that's new to me, be able to do this, and I feel really honored, and I wanted to give a little bit back to everybody for giving me your time, your ears. Again, if you feel inspired, and I hope you do, or I hope someone hears this and wants to know more, I again encourage you to find an elder, find a singer, and learn from them. They're still around. And they're just waiting to be asked. A lot of times, the elders that I mentioned, they don't go out there and say, "Oh, I'm here. Who wants to know?" They're just there. They sing, and a lot of times what would happen is I would be somewhere, and then I would hear someone sing a song, and I'd be like, "Oh, I want to hear more about that." But then I'd have to go find them, track them down, and it took effort on my part. And I think that's what came out, and I think that's what they saw, to be able to teach me what they gave to me. So hopefully you got to learn a little bit more. If not, hopefully you guys liked my AI photos. But again, it's really cool because now this is, those were something of what I saw in my head when I would sing these songs. And now I have a tool to be able to kind of show you what I saw or how I thought of these songs. So with that, I hope everybody has a safe drive, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys somewhere. And again, I encourage you, if you wish to learn more about our songs, seek out a singer. There's a few here in the crowd. Find them and ask them. About these songs, and that way we can carry on this knowledge that's a part of our world. So with that, thank you to Mr. Thomas. Thank you to Mr. Jackson for the awesome design. And I think that's all I have for this evening. So thank you. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you guys around somewhere at the Muchita.
Yo